hello everybody. Welcome back to another day of Neetcode. So I'm actually streaming right now, but I figured I would record this video and we can kind of do this problem together today. So I know with this solution we could do a few things, but I think what I'll do is I'll just try and start by implementing a pretty basic solution, and then after that we can explore our other options. Yesterday we did review the solution and kind of went off of that, and today I kind of want to see if I can attempt to not use any solutions, but we'll see how it goes. So for this problem, let's read over it. Given an array of integers called nums and an integer target, return the indices of I and j such that I and j equal target and I does not equal j. You may assume that every input has exactly one pair of indices, I and j, that satisfy the condition. So we can see here that we have like 3 and 4 can add up to 7, so we just need to return the pair of indices. So my first thought is we could do an O of n brute force solution where we would want to use two loops, one for I and one for j. So let's start there. I send nums.size, nums.size. And then we would want to do for j, and then this would equal I plus 1. J is less than size. This is kind of the approach I take for most of my loops, is, it's kind of a basic standard and we can change things as the problems are different. So the condition we want to check is if these two indices match up to target. So if nums of I plus nums of j equals the target, then we would return true. Sorry, I don't know why it's being so goofy. Whatever, I'll just do this. Return. I need to work on my typing. Return true. Actually, we wouldn't return true because this is not a boolean. We'd return I and j, what those two indices are. And then otherwise, we're still just going to return an empty vector. So, or an empty pair of indices. So let's run this. Okay, we can see that j was not declared in the scope. Did you mean jn? Let's see. Oh, int j. There we go. Okay, we can see that passed, so let's submit that. And we can see that's 2 milliseconds, which is not bad. I'm thinking we can probably do this faster by doing a sort of hash map of some sort. So like we could store what values that we have seen. So let's try that. Let's just open a new solution, and actually we can just reset. So this was a pretty simple solution. Now let's think about this. We would want to do something like a stood unordered map, and then we would be tracking our number and then our indice or index, and we could just call this map, and then we could say for, I'm wondering if we could use a num and nums, a range-based for loop. If num. I'm trying to think. We have the key and the value. Let's see, C++. So let's look at the methods for this. So unordered map, we have the key and the value. So initialize an unordered map. Gotcha. So we didn't define it with any values. Okay. So we can probably do... I'm trying to think. So if we're trying to find a pair that adds up to the target, we want to check what indice and then map it to a key or the value. So yeah, that's tricky. I'm gonna look for help on this one. Actually, there's a hint feature. Let's try this. Rather than go to the solution. You've correctly chosen an unordered map to store values. Think about what information you need to store in it. If you find a number, how will you know what its original index was? Okay. In your for loop, you need the index to return the final answer. Instead of for num and nums, consider using a standard index based. Okay. So for int I, I is less than nums.size, plus. Okay, I want to retry that now. As you iterate through the array, for every numbers I, there's a specific partner number that would sum up to the target. Can you calculate what the number is and check if it's already in your map? Let's see. Calculate what the number is. Maybe it would be something like if nums of I I guess we would do map contains nums of I, then be let's try that. For every number x at index I, you are searching for a specific value. You're currently checking if the current number of nums of I is in the map, but think about what you actually need to find to reach the target. We need to find a pair. Okay. I guess it would be, I'm trying to think, so target equals equals nums of I equals target. Let's try that. If you're looking for the number that adds up to the target, the map should help you remember numbers you've already seen. So take a look, actually, yeah, we want to call this scene to be more clear. Take a look at your calculation. Int j, if the math is nums of I plus x equals target, then the value you're looking for is x equals target minus nums of I. Target minus nums of I. And then at that point we would want to say x map, or I guess we'd say scene nums of I. As you iterate, check if the complement is already in your map. If it is, you found your pair. Gotcha. So if x or scene dot contains x, then we'd return x. We'd return x and nums of I, something like that. That syntax might not be right, but that's okay. Let's retry that. If scene dot contains x and your scene dot contains x block, you're returning x and nums of I. Note that x is the value you were looking for, but the function needs to return a vector of integers containing the indices. You'll need to store the index of each number in your map as you iterate. Your loop currently checks the map but doesn't seem to be updating it. If the complement x isn't found, you need to store the number's value as the key and its index as the value in scene. So, okay. Calculate x equals target minus nums. If Sx exists in scene, return the index stored in the map. Oh, gotcha. So we do scene, return scene of x, and the current index I. Loop through nums, okay. Calculate complement equals target. So I could call this comp equals target minus nums of I. If complement is in scene, so if it contains complement, return scene complement and then I. Otherwise, add the current number to the map. So we do scene dot, let's see what our insertion is. Insert. And then we would do complement. wondering if, okay. Add those scene numbers of I. Let's see if that's right. That one's a little tricky. Okay, so let's go over this again. So we got our unordered map where we're storing the value and the index. So basically the key value pair. We're iterating through our vector and we're saying, hey, int complement equals target minus nums. So the complement integer, which is the other integer that we need to add to our target, equals target minus the current indice that we're looping through. And then we're going to say if our map contains our complement, then we're going to return the map with the index of the complement and I, so essentially those two numbers. And then otherwise we're going to say our map nums of I equals I. Let's see, I need to see how this logic is working because this part's confusing me a little. Explain what this logic means. Scene complement gives you, okay. This logic. Sorry this video is longer today, guys. Okay, it stores the index of I of the current element, nums of I, in a dictionary. Okay, so this is essentially just saying we're taking our current index and storing it in scene. And then we're going to return those indices. Okay, so that one was tricky. I need to start doing more studying on my own. But we got 2 solutions done, and tomorrow we will probably do group anagrams, which is this one. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video today, and I'll see you probably tomorrow.